Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K. Hello.
This is Eric. Can you hear
All
me?
right. Okay. All right. So we continue. So today is the 11th of July 2021, and the time now is 6:17 a.m. Well, today our topic is, do you keep a journal? So before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right. So here we go. Yep, so today we talk about journal. And yeah, I think it is not something very surprising because we have talked about this recently, right? Yep, and then firstly for this, I know that you started writing journal recently, and for me also, I started my first journal. Um, I wrote it yesterday. That is my first journal. And before this, my in in my school age, I mean in secondary school, actually in our school, we have one assignment which we need to write the journal. That is a weekly journal to our teacher, the class teacher. Yep, so we have to do it every week and then pass it to our teacher, and we can write everything, uh, but we cannot leave it blank. Yeah, this is the rule. And then we have to write at least one page. Those book is the small exercise book. Yeah, and I still remember. And then sometimes our teacher will also write some comments uh, on our journal, and then to say something to reply us. Yeah, and yeah, that is secondary school many years ago. I think is uh, 8 years ago. Yep, and then we actually do that uh, for 6 years. Yeah, every year we have this assignment for every student. Yep, but unfortunately didn't become my I didn't form a habit because of that. Yep, and then after graduations, um, I have the idea of writing journal, and also before this, I had download some apps and then trying to write journal. And yeah, but after that, at the end, I still didn't continue writing journal. And all of the apps that I said just now, I actually uninstalled it after a few weeks. Yeah, so until yesterday, I started to write journal again. Yeah, and then the reason is firstly um, a little bit affected by the topic, your topic, which is about our to share our memory at the age of something. Yeah, as it is in the past. Yeah, and then I found that the things that we can remember isn't much. So I think um, when we recall back the things happen, and then when we read it, it is something like we we can look back what happened in the past. So yeah, the memory is good. Yeah, I feel happy when reading my own journal. Yeah, because that is my own story. Yep. So I found the meanings to write journal. This is a first, and then yeah, and if I continue to do it, I think this can be a present to myself when I get older. Yep, and then next one, there is another additional reason with this, which I treat writing journals also as a way to learn. Yeah. Actually, this time I write journal, I write it in a book. Yeah, this book is quite big. It's A4 size, and then yeah, that is actually my learning book. Yeah, I use that book to write the words that I learn when preparing my teaching material because yeah, there are a lot of vocabulary and then for English and Malay and also for Chinese characters because I found that nowadays because I use the pinyin as the way to type out the Chinese characters on my phone or on my PC. So as a result, I actually don't have much opportunity to write the Chinese characters on using a pen on a paper. And also because of that, I found that many of the words I know how to read and I recognize them, but I somehow can forget how to write them. Yeah, write them out if I didn't look at the words. Yeah, so I have these problems, and I wish to fix it. So I found that by writing out uh, with my pen, and then this can help. Yeah, so this is also one of the reason. And then the last reason of writing journal is yeah, for yesterday I sit down and write my journal. It takes me actually quite long time. It's around half an hour. Yeah, because that is the first one I want to write a little bit longer. I also describe the current situation of my life and then also talk about pandemic. Yeah, something like to describe it more so that in the later journal I can refer back to the first one. Yep, and then when I was writing journal yesterday, yeah, I found that yeah, by the time I was writing it, I actually stop my work. I sit down and then look back what happened recently. So I think this is a time which can help us to sit down and look at ourselves. Uh, yeah, if I didn't write a journal, I can also something like do reflections, but yeah, it's easy to say than to do. So I think writing journals is something can make me um, sit down and start thinking about myself. Yeah, so I think this is also one of the benefits of writing and keeping a journal. Yep, and then lastly, for journal, actually I don't have a plan whether I want to keep a daily journal or weekly or monthly. Yeah, but to me, I think yeah, because I use my uh, the learning book, yeah, which is the book that I used to learn with. And then yeah, actually I am using the habit stacking a method mentioned in Atomic Habit because that is the book that I will use it every day. And yeah, and also I because for that book it is the book with lines. Yeah, and then but if I turn to the next page, I mean the page uh, behind is actually blank without lines, and then the other page with lines and the other page without lines. So actually, I use the blank page to write my journal, and then the pages with lines I use it for learning the new vocabularies. So yeah, I believe that because I keep using that book, yeah, I don't have to force myself to write it regularly, and I think I can write it when I was free because the cue is always there. Yep. So yeah, these are my sharings today. Yeah.
Yeah, so just now you talk about habit stacking, how to stack your habit.
Yeah. Yep. Because I use that book to learn new vocabularies whenever I came across some words that I find it new. Yeah, I write it down in that book, and then yeah, if I am free enough, so because I write something on that books, so I'm already on that books. So yeah, I can write something for I can write my journal at the same time. Yeah, because that is just uh it that is the same book.
Yeah, it's the same book, but it's
Mm.
not the right time to write the journal.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah, sometimes if I am busy and yeah, I wouldn't stop down and write the journal.
I remember what we mentioned yesterday is a friction. Do you think you have a lot of friction if you stack this habit together?
Yeah, it has, but uh, yeah, I also don't know whether I will just write the first journal and then didn't start the second one for a long time. I'm not sure, but for this habit, I didn't plan it to write it daily. Yeah, I think is maybe weekly or bi-weekly will be okay for me. So I didn't force myself to do that.
And in the past of the reading section, we actually knows about if you want to form a habit, you
Mm,
need frequency up. So
yeah.
if you do it bi-weekly or you do it weekly and your frequency is low, then you
Yeah.
probably
Mm,
wouldn't pick up the habit. So is this an
yeah.
excuse or is this a strategy for you to write the journal? I'm not sure. Mm. Right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It goes again. The things that we learned yesterday.
And also, yeah, why not do every day, just like meditation? You also can
Mm,
say, yeah, I can do bi-weekly, I can do weekly, I can do when I'm free. But why
mm,
not do it? But why not do every day and fix a
mm,
time, fix a location,
yeah.
right? Like in the past, you do meditations, you like to say, hmm, I will do after I have free time. For example, in the evening
Yeah.
and after I end my work, or maybe I feel tired, I will do some meditations. I'll spend some time to do meditation, and then sometimes I will do, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I will
Mm,
go for runs like that. But
yeah.
now you actually have a fixed time and have a fixed place to do meditation, right?
Mm,
And if this is a good thing to do, why not? Why not give yourself a fixed time to do a particular thing?
mm, yeah.
And then it links to the craving because one of the point is remember the smoking case. There's a book help you to quit smoking,
Yeah.
and the book lists out every reason why you shouldn't smoke. There's
Mm,
no reason for you to smoke.
yep.
And at the end you lose the meaning. And then now, do you have the meaning? Do you have the meaning to write journal?
Yeah.
Do you have
Yes.
meaning to do you have meaning to do meditation?
Meaning yes. Yeah.
Yeah. But do you have the the meaning as strong as the meditation to write journal?
Mm. Yeah, perhaps not because for meditation, I think it is important and I do it every day. For journal, I plan it to write every week or every 2 weeks.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah,
yep.
and why you need to write journal? So you need to ask yourself questions. Mm.
Yeah. Yep. I think
Yeah.
I fall into the example like the photography class, the photography assignment in the Atomic Habit book. Yeah, because the first one I write quite long. I think is more than 300 words. Um, yeah, maybe I think I plan to write something like every 1 or 2 weeks I have quite a long journal to record down things happen in within the weeks. And yeah, but this is something like the friction is quite a lot because it takes me time to write a long journal. So yeah, maybe for this one really that will affect my uh, habit forming.
Mm. And also
Yeah.
the queue is not good enough because you
Mm.
see when you saw the queue, and then what's the next thing you will do? The next thing you will continue to do your job, and
Mm.
then you will feel bad because you didn't write journal. So this is a habit that you let yourself feel bad and quit journaling. It's
Mm.
not a habit for you to start writing journal.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because every
Yes.
time you are doing something, you see why you want what's the time when you get a new word, when you do when you see a new vocab,
Mm. Yeah.
and
It's.
you didn't hold the book every day and on your hands, like right, because you say it's a big book,
Mm.
so normally put in your house. You didn't bring to like to maybe to office, or maybe put on your car, or put in your bag. You
Yeah.
bring that
No.
everywhere. Yeah, right. So
Mm.
normally, in my guess is you will find new vocab when you start to work, when you are working.
Mm.
Is it?
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
the most frequent uh the most frequency you use the book when you need to use the book. Yeah.
Mm.
So when this is a time when you are working. So you are working and then you find a new vocab, and you already have formed a habit. You should, oh, I found a new vocab, so I need to stop my work a little, uh, pause my work for
Mm.
1 minute. So I take out the book and write the vocab, and
Yeah.
maybe you didn't check the meaning, you didn't check the real meaning and the implications, and you didn't find some phrases regard to this vocab, or find some other sentence regard this vocab. You just write it out because you
Mm.
want to remember it. So
Yeah.
maybe after 1 week or after a few days, you can see, oh, there are many vocab I don't know. So
Mm.
I try to find each of them, find the
Yeah.
meaning, find the application, find the use case, the real use case. Are you doing this? Are you doing the thing like this?
Yep.
Yeah. So you actually just want to spend 1 minute to write something on your big book, and then you switch back to your work. So there's less friction for you to
Mm.
continue to work. And also this habit is not it's easy, right? There's not
Yes.
much friction because you just write a vocab, maybe
Mm.
10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, that's done. So maybe uh one of the way to improve this habit to reduce the friction is actually
Mm.
bring the book on your workspace, on your workplace.
Mm.
So for example, you sit in front of a computer, so your hand should able to access the book very easily. So
Mm.
it reduce the friction.
Yeah.
Mm, right?
Yeah.
And this is something you have done right.
Mm. Yeah.
So you don't need to like, oh, I find a new vocab, I need to go
Go to take
elsewhere
the
to
book.
yeah, go to find my book out. So you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
So it makes the habit successful. So you eventually form the habit. And how about now you want to stack your habit with this easy habit?
Mm.
After that, you need to write a long journal. And then you should know that you need to think before you write. Sometimes you don't know what to write.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to spend 1 minute, 2 minutes to think, and it's not always a good time to write a journal. I will say that because maybe it's in morning. You learn one vocab, and then you write it into your big book, and then you found that, oh, this is in the morning. I don't have anything to write on the journal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a good cue, in my humble opinion. This is a cue for you to make yourself feel bad, to feel disappointed to your behavior.
Yeah.
And this is about the cue. And how about the craving? You won't crave for that because the frequency didn't goes up. And also, it's not always a good time to do the habit. Yeah, you want to crave for that habit, and maybe it may affect you to open a big book. Yeah, and also, this is one. And how about the one place, one use? You didn't apply this, right?
Yeah.
And because, of course, this is different place because one of the page, one side of the page is line, it's line page, and another side is a blank page. So you can use it, but it seems like it's not continuous habit, and you couldn't see your progress. Yeah, and this is something that we will read in the reading section when we read about the reward. Yeah, and if you one of the quick one of the quick and short notes is that if you can see your progress, and it's more satisfying. Yeah, it will be more satisfying. So the satisfying is something like the reward. So for example, you have seen you have write a long list of vocab list, maybe a long list of a journal. For example, you start writing from, let's say, July, 1st of July, and then now is 11 of July. So you have continuously write 11 days or maybe 10 days. Yeah. And then you don't want to skip it. You want to continue to do it because when you skip, you will make a bad record on your book. Yeah. So this is about the reward. Yeah. So and it also could be the cue. Yeah. Because you don't want to see, you skip one day. So it's a cue for you not skipping a day like that. Yeah, so this is something the progress. And if you write in a different page, it is more difficult for you to see the progress because you will be your attention will be distracted by the vocab list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and also another point, you talk about Chinese word, Chinese vocab. Are you writing in Chinese? Are you writing journal in Chinese? Why not try English? Right? We are learning English.
Yeah, but actually I am also writing it to fix my problem to write Chinese characters.
Is it a real demand for you?
Yeah, actually it is because I also have classes to to teach the Chinese lesson, Chinese subject.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. But actually, to be frank, if I'm a teacher, I will tell my students, it's you need to write Chinese words in exam, so you need to remember the vocab. But actually, after you pass the exam, or maybe after you graduate from secondary school,
Mm.
some people graduate from primary school because uh they don't wish to take Chinese subject in secondary school.
Yeah.
And if they don't take the Chinese subject, and most likely they have no chance to write Chinese frequently.
Mm. Yeah.
And then, but it's not, the excuse for you to skip using Chinese, and it's not the excuse for you to skip writing article, writing something,
Mm.
because writing writing is not something that asks us and train us to write something that we know, and write something vocab, and to spot some vocab we don't know. It's not the case. Writing is actually help you to sort your mind.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, and you see, you're writing article, you're writing journal, and I want you to write is not because to increase your Chinese. Yeah, nobody need to increase your Chinese anymore if
Yep.
you already can speak Chinese. Yeah, and if you already can speak Chinese, I meant, yeah, language is just communication tools. You're
Mm.
not you're not going to use Chinese. You're not going to go to China, and then you are not going to like work in the firms, or work in the industry that like the journalist, or maybe like the public relations. To use you need to use the words, you need to use the vocab very, very accurate, and you couldn't make the mistake, you couldn't make the grammar mistake.
Yeah.
No matter you are writing Chinese article, no matter you are writing English article. And also you need to keep the logic. You need to keep your sentence uh, well structured, and then you also need to let people know what you want to say as short as possible, but still remain the logic. And it
Mm.
is not the it's not the easy skill to learn, and it's a
Yeah.
different skill set. It's a different skill set for you. And only if you decided to work like this, to choose this kind of job, then this is a skill you need to learn. But for most of the people, they don't need that. And
Yeah.
for most of people, what you need to do, you need to spend more your energy. You need to spend more of your you need to spend your attentions more on English, because it's a language for you, and you
Yeah.
use it very frequently in workplace. Maybe you need to write an email. You need to use English, and you want to type an official letter. You need to use English. Mm.
Yeah.
So English should be the language that you train. And guess what? You also don't need to know how to write the vocab. You also don't need to know how to uh how not making mistake on writing the vocab, writing a sentence. There are many tools. There are many technology tools for you. And if you're not sure whether you are writing a vocab correct or not,
Mm.
you are not sure the spelling, you can always go to the Google and type the vocab, and then the Google will help you to correct your mistake.
Mm. Yeah.
So you don't need to do that. You should spend most of your focus on somewhere else.
Mm. Yeah.
And also, guess what? Even in your exam, the spelling and also the grammar is actually not the big portion of the article. It's actually your point.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you know what you are writing, you can write it long. You can write it very logically. You can give explanation. Otherwise, you can only write one sentence, two sentences. And good essay is not something that you can write a very good sentence, but very easy and also and no nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as a teacher, I have responsibility to teach you how to write a good article. But at the same time, I also have the responsibility to teach you how to think.
Mm.
Because this is a purpose for you to learn language.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chinese and English, why they need you to write article. And of course, we find some way, we find some trick way, we find some bug inside the systems. And this is a failure of our education system, but it is not a failure for you. But you shouldn't take it as a granted. You shouldn't take it as a grant. You should take it as shame. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I actually find no point to learn to something like learn how to write down the write down the words or something like that.
Do you mean write down to write my journal using Chinese? But I think it's also
No. I miss. There's no point for us to still learn how to use our hand to write the Chinese.
oh yeah, but for this one I think it's something that I still need it because yeah, sometimes when I was teaching in the class and yeah, I have to write on the whiteboard.
Check your font. Use technology.
Yeah, but
It's more
if you have to do it every time, then that's also I think it's also very troublesome.
why problem.
Yeah, because if you want to write, let's say, a sentence and then you write until the half and then you found that a words you don't know how to write, and then you have to stop it and then take out your phones and do it.
You don't have any preparation notes.
Yeah, of course I have, but sometimes it also will have sometimes that uh you want to write something. Yeah, but I know maybe if it is not a serious issues, then I shouldn't have uh pay attention on that. But sometimes some very easy words I just kind of totally forget how to write it because not getting used to writing it with my hand. So I think it's kind of too the problem is too big, so I have to fix it. Yeah, and also as a teacher, I think it is not suitable for me to keep checking the words on using my phones. What I can do is prepare it. Yeah, I also do so to prepare uh, uh, in advance before the lesson. Yeah, but I think yeah, I also needed to fix it to fix the problem.
Yeah, I'm not teacher. But if I'm teacher, I will spend my focus, I will spend my attention to fix this. I will spend most of my attention on somewhere else. On somewhere is most important one.
Mm,
Yeah, of course, different teacher have different strategy. You
yeah.
have your own way. Yeah, just like the story I share you about teacher, and because I really I really have the strong you can say arguments or maybe like a strong opinion about teacher, especially in our current education system. the teacher didn't do great on their job. They just follow the education system, but the
Yeah.
education system already failed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but teacher is also one of the job they earn for living, just like other career. Some other career don't have any meaning. They just do it. Yeah. And maybe I shouldn't have the bias, like as an auditor or as an like teacher. And teacher could also be the job that has no meaning.
Yeah. 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 Because like you said, since the education system is like that, and yeah, it's uh uh yeah, teacher has no excuse to ignore the part, right? Because especially for me, I am teaching primary six students, and to help them to prepare for the enrollment exam to high school, yeah, which is the Chinese school. So in their exam, they also need to know how to write the words, because a big portion of it they need to write out the words, and then they don't have
It,
the multiple
it,
choice question. They have to write it out. So yeah, I think yeah, to prepare for that exam, they need to know how to write.
I hi I need to
Ah,
correct you, because how do you teach them write the words? Teach them, they are already primary six. How do
mm,
you teach them? Hey, please face the reality. Don't
um,
rationalize things, right?
uh, yeah,
Think,
what do you mean?
okay, you say you need to teach them how to write the words. Try to write the vocab, right? How do you teach
Um,
them?
yeah, okay, for example, the for the what's that? Uh, that is the something like the proverbs, yeah, and then um they will give you the words, and then they will leave, let's say, one of the character blank, and then you have to fill it in.
Yeah, then they just write.
Yeah, and yeah, many of them find it difficult to write, even though they know the words, but they just couldn't write it out. They know how to uh, read it, but they couldn't write the words correctly, so they couldn't get that question correct.
No, I mean, uh, are you talking about on the left hand side there is the same there is the same word, and on the right hand side there's a blank columns or blank cells, and you need to copy the
No,
the
it's
vocab.
not it's not filling with the choice. That they just leave it blank and don't have any
So okay,
choices for you.
so example, on the left hand side they give
Mm.
you the pinyin, and on the right hand side they ask you to write the Chinese words, right? Is it like this?
No, for example, let's say uh, we have one proverb which is called 一步登天, and then let's say they leave it blank, the third words, so it's 一步
Okay,
and then bracket 天,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
something like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they have to fill in the blank, and then yeah, if they don't know how to write it, and then they couldn't get the question correct.
Yeah. Then so what? How to teach them?
Yeah, and then for this part,
Give them
actually it can
see
be
the answer.
prepared.
Give them see the answer and ask them write more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, it's
How
something like that. Yeah.
yeah, how to teach, right?
Um,
You need
yeah,
to write on the whiteboard and show them how to write. Okay, now you need to do
no, no,
this.
no, no, I
One
didn't do that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
hmm.
So I still remember what you are talking just now. You need to teach them write the words. They are already primary six.
Yeah,
It's quite
maybe okay, this is not my meaning. Maybe I didn't speak it well.
yeah, and
Yep.
also this is something that you don't need to teach, just give them more practice,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
I just write the meaning of the words on the blackboard, and yeah, that is what I want to say. And then at the same times, I also want them to write in their notebook. Yeah, for the words, difficult words. Yeah, and that's it. I didn't teach them uh the one words by one words. Yeah, I didn't do
yeah,
that.
yeah. Mm, so just now what you say you need to teach them how to write the words, and then if you don't need to teach them how to write the words, why you still need to like to know how to write the words?
Okay, I think this is two different things. Firstly, I shouldn't use teach them how to write. I actually want them to write on their
Yeah,
book,
you
and
want them
then
to write you want them know how to write the words, and why why you need to learn how to write the words?
for me, I think yeah, I need to know to write those basic works. This is yeah, this is what a teacher should know.
But you are not preparing for the exam. You are preparing for the exam.
Um, yeah,
And
that is for
okay,
yeah, I think that is for myself. Yeah.
yeah, what's the difference between teacher and students? Students need to take the exam, but
Mm.
teacher, the the difference is teacher need to allow student well prepared in the exams,
Yeah.
and teacher don't need to take the exam.
Yep.
Yeah, so you are teacher, you are not student. Don't do what student do.
Mm, yeah, but yeah, I still think for basic words, that is the things uh my teacher must know.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Mm,
Yeah, I know the focus shouldn't be or putting on that particular uh particular things. Yeah. All right. So yeah, for my part of sharings, I have finished.
mm. Okay, for my journal it's very easy, and I don't force myself to do that. And I remember, I'm not sure I read from somewhere, and actually, uh, one of the example is I think it's atomic habit. And if you try to force yourself to do some things, and then uh, normally it won't last. And if you start to do it and then you try to quit before your uh, before your ability. So for example, you are writing journal, you can
Mm.
write that long. Let's say you can write 30 sentences, but you quit, you stop writing when you are writing at the at the at the highest at the peak of the emotions that you want to keep continue to write. Yeah, you write a lot, and you want to keep continue to write, and
Mm.
then you can stop at this time. Yeah, so by doing that, it can allow you to keep the craving. Mm.
Oh.
So if you keep writing, and then you write a very very long one, and then at the end, and there's nothing to write,
Mm.
and and you still keep thinking. You still keep thinking, I should write more, I should write more, because yesterday I write a lot, or
Yeah.
2 days ago I write a lot. Then so you keep thinking, you spend a lot of time on that, and actually will stop you, and also actually reduce the craving. Yeah. But I didn't fully follow because there isn't that much thing to write, and I don't have a lot of chance to quote unquote stop writing. And what I do is actually I don't force myself to write as much as possible. Sometimes I just write 2 sentence, 3 sentence. Sometimes I can write a lot.
Yeah.
And about the journal, and I'm not writing my daily life. I'm not writing like today what's the weather today, what my colleagues did on me, and what my life partner do on me, what I cook for today, so something like this, daily and unimportant things. I actually write some things that I learned today, and also, for example, something required me, and sometimes it's worth to think. Maybe it's a question.
Yeah.
So I just write. Sometimes I don't have answer, but I just leave it. And sometimes I may have some answer, but I'm not sure the answer whether it's good enough or not to the critical questions. And yeah, but I still write, and I will put like the question mark at the behind. Is it good? Is it
Yeah.
really a good answer? For example, like that. And is there anything I'm missing? Or maybe actually this is actually an excuse. And okay, for example, let's say one example, we talk about increase our income, and I have 3 strategy: writing book, and trading, and also the video. And let's say about let's say the video. Let's say video, and why I don't do video, because of some reason. And then I will question to the point, question myself back. Is this something that I'm doing? Is it something that rationalizations? Am I doing rationalize? Am I rationalize something? So for example, like writing book, yeah. And why I shouldn't start writing a book? And maybe I'll think, yeah, this is high cost and low returns, or maybe some other excuse or some other reasons. And then I also question back to myself.
Yeah.
And also one of the example is like the template. Mentioned about the Excel templates that you asked me the questions. And one of the reason I quit doing that is actually, yeah, it's very easy to copy Excel file to elsewhere. So maybe you could sell one time, but you couldn't sell for a lot of times. Yeah, and you can set passwords, you can set all that, but it's very easy to crack your password. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons, and also there are a lot of excuses here.
Yeah.
And I keep what I keep doing is I question myself. Yeah, so it actually kind of like it become a way to improve my critical thinking. And this is the purpose is for me to start journaling.
Yeah.
And critical thinking is very important to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all.
So so for you, you also didn't write it every day, did you?
No, I write every day.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
I actually did yoga. After yoga, okay, sometimes I write journal first, sometimes I do yoga first. But before sleep, I had 3 things to do. That is journaling, yoga, and meditation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. How about if oh, so you fix it at night. Yeah, it is a better time than morning, right?
Yeah,
I mean
of
the
course.
right time to write journal.
Because it's
Mm,
end of the day.
yeah.
Mm.
So do you sometimes face the problem like don't know what to write or has got nothing to write in your
Yeah,
journal?
of course. But I'll look back what I think in today. What I saw today, and what I read today, what I watched today. I'll write
Mm.
something.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, definitely you can write something.
Mm. Yeah.
Even though the whole day you are watching YouTube, you still can get something new. Mm.
Yeah.
You still
Yeah.
can see something new. You still can read something new. Or maybe you read something old. Mm. You read something that you already know, and then you can write it out. You still can write it out. Mm.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
other and even yeah, even you sleep the whole day. You sleep in the whole day. You may dream. You know, you can
Yeah.
write. Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So there must be a thing to write, at least one sentence.
Mm.
So uh, and I think it also could be a skill that you can you can always remind your days, and also you can always think something. You can always
Yeah.
think of something. Maybe it's a question, maybe it's a sentence. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
For
And
example, for example,
mm.
sometimes in a day I focus on my work. Yeah. And and I also will write something about my work. For example, Pythons. Mm. Let's say now, okay, let's say it's an Excel. Okay, let's say in Excel, and I'm designing a new Excel template, and I'm doing halfway. And after I go back, I'll write down, okay, the first step what I need to do is maybe I need to check my formula first. And second, I need to go to the VBA, and then what VBA should do and what I want to do. For example, I want I want automatically based on the comma to split, and also to split the let's say to split the string, same as the text. It's a meaning same as the text.
Mm.
Okay, and split the strings between split the strings by using a comma. So let's say you have, let's say for example 1 2 3 comma 4 5 6 comma
Yeah.
7 8 9. So in this case you have 3 comma. So you need to split these 4. 1 2 3 is one set, 4 5 6 is one set. Yeah, like this. And then you have 3 comma, so you need to insert 3 row.
Mm.
And then after you insert 3 row, you need to take each of them, the first set, the second set, the third set, and the fourth set, go to the second row that you have inserted, the third row you have inserted, the fourth row you have inserted. Yeah, this is one of the project I have done recently.
Mm.
So I know VBA can dance, but I don't know how to do it. So I just write out the steps I need to do. Okay, and what the program will look like, what application I want. In the first step, uh, it must be do this. It must be insert the row first based on how many comma. For example, 3 comma. So that means I need to insert 3 row. If there's 5 comma, I need to insert 5 row.
Yeah.
Because 5 comma, that means there are set, there are 6 sets. There's 6 components. If there's 3, there is if there's 3 comma, there is 4 components.
Mm.
If there isn't comma, so that means you don't need to insert because there's only one component, and you already have a row to
Mm.
store the string. So if there's one comma, so that means you need to insert additional row,
Yeah.
and get the second set onto the next row. So it's something like that. So you need to think what's the logical way in order to do this, what's the mathematics behind that. So for example, at here, I know the comma at the relationship between the row that I need to insert. So I use a comma. So this is also something that you need to think. Then after insert, and then you need to get the component, the set to the correct row. And this is also something you need to think. Yeah. How the system should be designed to. And after that, and then maybe you need to cancel, need to delete the information, or need to drag out the information in other columns or something else. Yeah. And it's a program and you have a lot of steps to do, so you can write it down. So for me, yeah, I also in my one of my day of the journal, I also have to write something like this step and what code I may use. Yeah, what type of code I may use. For example, like at here, I need to use if then. I need to use a logic. How many commas? Maybe if if the cell is blank or the cell contains non-blank formation, something like that, and also to determine how many commas in this in this cell. And maybe I also need to track how many row I have inserted. I need additional variable to keep the information. So it's something like this. So yeah, and let's say you are doing your work, you're a teacher, you also can write something like that. Okay, tomorrow I need to prepare some maybe tomorrow I need to prepare some material. So in my knowledge, and I didn't do a lot of research. I mean, as a teacher, let's say as a teacher, because you need to spend time to read the material, then you also need to decide what should include in the teaching material. But you always couldn't confirm that what material need to include before you start preparing the material, right?
Yeah.
But you definitely have your own experience. You know what should include, what shouldn't be included, and you know about it, and then you can write first, and then you also can write something like that. Let's say tomorrow I have a class, and I already prepared the material. So what I need to teach at the first, what I need to teach at the next, and the next, and the next, and how I link the point to the first thing I teach them. How I let them keep remembering this first point. The first thing I teach you is very easy, but it's actually very, very important. This is something like the definition. As long as you remember the definition, it can guide your behavior. It can guide you to answer the questions.
Yeah.
Something like that. So there are a lot of things to write. You don't have to write something that had passed. You can also write something that haven't existed, and you are going to do next day.
Yeah. Look forward.
Yeah. And you also can like do the journaling for tomorrow's English conversation. It also could be. Yeah, you have a lot of things to write.
Yep.
And this is my strategy. I can write a lot of things, and the most common things I write is about trading and investing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to say is this is my strategy, and it may not suitable for you, and it also may not suitable for other people. Maybe you want to keep your own story, you want to keep your personal story, or you want to record your dreams. Yeah. And I remember I told you before, there's actually one technique for you to remember your dream and then to control your dream. Yeah, and it's quite powerful in our opinion, because as long as you can control your dream,
Yeah.
then you can, like magicians, create something in your dream, and then you can feel the real, because inside the dream you can feel the real. And let's say you can control the dream, and then you can enjoy the leisure that you couldn't enjoy in real life. Maybe you can eat the food. Maybe you can like go traveling.
Mm.
Maybe you can go experience something. For
Yeah.
example, have sex with a very beautiful girl, like that. Mm. Yeah. So yeah, or maybe you can learning. You can read a book. You can review. You can like refresh your memory. You can like kind of like try to try to remember what you have read in a book. Yeah. So yeah, you can do a lot of things. You can do something which is productive, and you can like speed up your learning curve. Mm. So
Yeah.
control your dream is also one of the very powerful tools. But
Mhm.
one of the technique to train this, and it's not easy. It's very very difficult. Mm. And one of the technique is actually every day after you wake up, and then you write what you have dreamed. Yeah. So you actually tell your brains that, yeah, because I'm recording this, so this is something very important to me. So you better remember.
Yeah.
Because sometimes many people, they couldn't remember what they have dreamed.
Yeah.
And they keep claim that they didn't dream. But actually they have dreamed. They just don't have a memory. They
Mm.
just lose the
Yeah.
memory. And if you keep doing this as a habit, every day you wake up, write something. Yeah. Write something. Even though you are not sure, you can write something. Oh, I dream about this, and but I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether this is inside the dream. Yeah,
Mm.
it seems like it's not inside the dream. It's just my past memory,
Yeah.
something. And if you don't have any memory, you can also write, yeah, I don't have memory on the dream in yesterday. Yeah, you can also write it. This is something to keep you to doing the journal, and then you tell your brains your dream is very important, so your brain will remember the dream.
Yeah.
Mm. And so after some time you can remember a dream. You can have a very clear mind from your dream. And then yeah, this is the first step. And of course we have a second step, we have the third step. Yeah, and we may cover this in future topic, because we have one topic talk about the dream.
Oh. Okay.
So for the audience, please be patient. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my share for today.
All right. Yeah, me too.
Mm. Okay. So that's all for our today conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? What do you think on our today conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you find any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.